Good morning. Welcome back to Planet Doug Behind the Scenes for Saturday, December 10th, just about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm taking behind the scenes out on the road again because I have a shopping errand to take care of, and I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm up here on the fourth floor of the Kojoy Hotel. This is sort of the, the alcove outside my room. So I don't hang out here very much, but a lot of other guests do up here on this floor. You know, they got some chairs here, and I just come over here to look out the window just to see, what the weather is like. And it's not raining right now. It was raining all last night, but it's not raining right now, so I'm okay. I come out here all the time, of course, just to get water from this machine. But the main reason I started the video up here is because when I get down to the lobby, I want to show something on video. It's something quite exciting. They were installing it yesterday, and it fits in very well with the theme of my life ever since I came back to Kuala Lumpur. That theme being the world of technology is moving very quickly and becoming more and more cashless and more automated, and they just installed a machine down in the lobby, which is like the pinnacle of this. It's like the perfect expression of this new world that we're moving into, where you don't use money and you minimize human contact. You do everything through machines. Yeah, check this out when I get down to the lobby. I just arrived back in the lobby, and unfortunately I can't give you the full experience of seeing what this machine is like, because I guess they're still installing the operating system, and they've covered up the front of it with a screen. So yeah, like that's all the okay. She's gonna lift it so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, so look at the size of the screen there. It's huge. And with this, you can do just about everything. The whole screen is a touch screen from top to bottom, has internet access. It shows information at the bottom about the weather, the time, all that sort of thing. And yeah, thank you. So that's kind of what the front screen looks like. And this is basically what it is. It's being operated by a company here in Kuala Lumpur called VendFun, and they organize like vending machines for companies and hotels. And it's basically a full self-service kiosk. So you can actually check into your room here. So if you have a reservation, you can check into your room, check in and check out. This machine will issue you your card, your room card key, and then you also deposit your key in this machine when you check out. And it's also a true vending machine. So it's going to be fully stocked with snacks and drinks and toiletries and things like that. So essentially, when you as a guest arrive at a hotel now, one like the Kojoy, then you walk up to this machine, and then you choose. You can just see a little bit there. It says, number of nights you want to stay, number of adults. It's essentially like checking in through an online app, basically, and you do it right at the machine. So that's pretty amazing. But I guess they put the sign on the front because it's not fully installed yet, and they don't want people, touching all the buttons and kind of getting things all screwed up. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. I was very excited to see them putting that in yesterday. And they've added more touches to the lobby. You've got all this new furniture that they're moving in, and they brought in a piano the other day with a Christmas tree. And that piano is actually functional. They had a piano tuner come in, I saw, and they actually tuned it up and got it in shape. So it's an actual playable piano. It's not just for decoration. And hello.
Merry Christmas, sir.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good. And I was interested to see that even though they're changing the name, of course, new ownership, new name, the Kojoy, they kept some of the history. So there is one of the old signs from the Winson Hotel, which was the old name, and they took one of the signs and just kept it here as part of the history. which I really like. And yeah, here's the rest of the lobby with another Christmas tree and some more of the furniture that they've installed. So yeah, these chairs make a lot more sense now that they have the vending machine, because you can come in, sit down here, and get yourself a hot or cold drink, you know, from the vending machine. Yeah. And up there, by the way, that is the co-working space. The mezzanine floor is all office meeting rooms. And there's a whole, I think 18 separate kiosks where you can sit down at a computer station and do work. And this bridge going across the lobby goes over to meeting rooms over here, so you can rent meeting rooms for your company as well, staff meetings. And yeah, so that's quite a large co-working space. So yeah, Kojoy is turning into something quite new, quite interesting. And of course, a couple weeks ago, they installed these new doors, which I really like. You know, they're, you know, just automatic doors. You just push the button and they slide open. And the key thing about those doors, of course, is now that they've sealed the lobby, it's really good for the staff too, because they can air condition the lobby and keep the cold air in there. It's not like doors that are open to the outside world. Yeah, very cool. A lot of changes at the Kojoy. Every day I wake up, I find something new. So, errand, where am I going? I'm making one more attempt to find a pair of sandals. I think it's pretty important that I get sandals. I have a history with this, because the current sandals that I have, the sole, the bottom, like the sole on the bottom is coming loose and kind of flapping around. And then from time to time, I'll try to walk, I'll take a step, and that I'll end up nearly tripping because I trip over that flap, which is coming loose. And I was faced with that situation once before when I was in the Philippines, and I ignored it for a long time. I kept procrastinating, which is the worst habit I have. I'm very much a procrastinator. And I kept delaying buying new sandals until one day that flap on the sole of my sandal came loose. You know, that was coming loose. It hooked on a piece of rebar, some wire sticking out of some concrete, and I ended up tripping, falling flat on my face and destroying a $600 camera lens, and pretty much destroying about a $1,000 camera that I was using at the time as well. So, because I was unwilling to spend $20 on a new pair of sandals, cost me a lot, cost me hundreds of dollars in camera gear that I broke. So I'm one last attempt, and this is also kind of a funny story for me, because I have a hard time tracking things down, and I often don't know why that is. I've been looking for like Teva sandals for a long time, and I haven't been able to find them anywhere. I just end up kind of wandering around looking for information on the internet, and I never make any progress. And yet as soon as I reach out to another person, then boom, I find it instantly. So this morning I was chatting with Daryl from Wander Eats, and he mentioned, you know, he's going out Christmas shopping with his family. That's what's going on here in KL. And just as a, you know, we're just chatting, and an offhand comment, I said to him, well, while you're out there shopping, if you happen to see a store selling Teva sandals, let me know, because I can't find them. And he, being a helpful guy, he did a quick search and he sent me a link to a store at the Mega Mall, Mid-Valley Mega Mall. There's like a Teva outlet there. But this I knew about. I'd actually been to the Mega Mall, and I went there because I saw that store listing at the Mega Mall. But when I got there, I couldn't find the place. I could not find this store. It's supposed to be like dedicated only to Teva sandals. If it's there, maybe it's there, I couldn't find it. I walked everywhere in that mall, and in the neighboring mall, the Gardens Mall, a much fancier place, and I could not find the the sandal outlet, but it's still listed on their store directory for Mid-Valley Mega Mall. So maybe it's there, but as I said, I couldn't track it down. However, because Daryl sent me the link to their store directory, I kind of looked at it for a minute or two, trying to figure out, like, okay, maybe it really was there and I just didn't see it. But I noticed that down at the bottom, it had a contact us link. So I clicked on that, and that brought me to a listing of information that for the company that runs this store. It was something called Prestige Sports. And I guess Prestige Sports is the Malaysian distributor for Teva sandals. And when I got that information, that was a link that brought me to their Facebook page. And on their Facebook page, I saw, oh, this is interesting, by the way. I've been seeing a lot of these lately. Tour group, a large tour group. There's a man ahead of them with a flag leading the way. Whole group of, foreigners, tourists. And they just arrived here for a tour of Chinatown, I guess. And they're probably going to go to the Mariamam Temple first. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of these guided tour groups lately. So yeah, one more stage in the world waking up again after COVID. Anyway, I got to their Facebook page, and in their Facebook page, I saw a listing for another store that they own and operate that is at the One Utama Mall. And on the Facebook page, I could see activity related to that store, like that took place in November and December of this year, saying, okay, we're having a big sale on Teva sandals, come on down, big clearance sale. But all this activity was very, very recent. It was all taking place right now. So that tells me definitely, not only does this store exist, where it is, and it's open. So anyway, it's just funny that I stumble around like a lunatic on my own for a long time. I can never find anything on my own. I'm terrible at internet searches for some reason. I can't come up with the right search terms. And then I ask a friend of mine, or I tell this friend of mine, whoever it is, Daryl or someone in Canada, yeah, I'm trying to find out this information and I can't track it down. 2 minutes later, they send me a link, they found it. And I ask them, okay, what search terms did you use? Like, how could you find it so easily when for me it was nearly impossible? And it's sort of a knack. Some people have the knack for finding information on the internet, and some people don't. And I'm one of those that don't. Moral of the story is I should just always ask for help, because I'm hopeless on my own. I shouldn't even try to do things on my own. I should just ask for help right away, and that would save me a lot of time. Anyway, I'm on my way to One Utama, big shopping mall. I have to take the Sungai Buloh Kajang line, maybe 30 minutes away by MRT. So that's where I'm heading. And that's my neighborhood, by the way. Vinijaya is just down there. That's the bus station right outside of Pasar Seni. My old hostel was right down there, but my old stomping grounds. I remember when I first came here years ago, this MRT line didn't exist yet. It wasn't open, I don't think. No, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. So at some point, all of this became brand new to me, taking these escalators way underground to get to the new MRT line. Yeah, this is only half the journey. From here, another set of escalators takes you an equal distance down underground. You may have noticed, if you've been paying attention, I lost some hair yesterday. I finally got around to getting a haircut. No huge story to go along with the haircut experience, but a little bit of a story. Whoa. Wrong escalator. Yeah, look at this. This is the second escalator takes me long ways underground. And I'm gonna have to read the sign really quickly just to make sure I know which way to go. I think I have to go to that side of the platform, but I'll confirm once I get down to the bottom. How much time do I have? Because yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Damansara, that's the direction I need to go, not to Kajang. Commented on this in the past. I really like this system. So well organized. Okay, there, yeah, that's where we are, Pasar Seni, and I need to go to Bandar Utama. Yeah, it's not as far as I thought, actually. Google Maps gave me directions, and it was like 40 minutes, but I guess that includes all the walking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just six stops to get to Bandar Utama. I was talking the other day about how when you're moving around a lot, you sometimes don't have the chance to find the basic services that you need in life, like a good coffee shop that you like, you know, a good laundromat, things like that. And one of them is a hairdresser. You know, you're living in your hometown, you eventually find your hairdresser, a hairstylist, barbershop, whatever you call them, and you find the one you like and you get to know them, and that becomes your barber. That's where you always go, and it's hassle-free. But of course, when you're moving around all the time, even getting a haircut is a big adventure because you're starting from scratch. You know, you don't have a place to go. You don't have a routine. And as I was walking to Masjid Jamek over and over, I kept passing this small barbershop right in kind of an Indian neighborhood there near the Central Market. And every time I looked through the doors, it was like, oh, that looks like my kind of place. Very simple, unpretentious, a little bit old, you know, a little bit, you can tell it's worn, you know, it's been around for a few years, not a fancy salon or anything like that. So I thought, okay, if I ever need a haircut, I'll pop in there if it's not busy. And yesterday I happened to be walking past, and just as I was walking past, I glanced through the door and it was completely empty. There's nobody in the chairs. I think there are 2 chairs in there. And I saw the hairstylist, the barber, sitting on a chair waiting for customers. So I thought, oh, perfect opportunity. Early in the morning, I'm full of energy, I'm in the mood to get things done. So I popped in there to get a haircut. Of course, because it's a brand new place that I've never been to before, we have to have sort of a conversation about what kind of hairstyle I want. And then I end up telling my story. Common to many men, I think, is like, well, I don't care. I don't know anything about hairstyles. I just need it shorter. I mean, I just let him do whatever it is he wants. I don't want a fancy cut. Just whatever's going on right now, just cut it shorter, and neater and shorter. That's all I need. And the funny thing was, he pointed to all the pictures on the wall. Of course, you know, you can pick your hairstyle if you want something fancy. And one of them was like a picture of Brad Pitt. And of course, the obvious joke is right there for the taking. You know, so, well, if you can make me look like Brad Pitt, that would be cool, you know. But the obvious joke, I avoid them. So I only thought that, and I didn't say anything about it. He might not even have known that was Brad Pitt. Who knows? But anyway, I told him that I don't really want any of those fancy styles. Had all the fadeaways and the sort of cut into your, you know, patterns in your hair, and something you'd have to make every morning with gel or something, or blow drying it. He says, I really just want it cut shorter. So he got to work. Nice guy, very friendly, very chatty. I don't often chat with barbers or hairstylists. I just sort of close my eyes. I feel I want to make the job as easy as possible for them. You know, they have a job to do, so I kind of close my eyes because I want to. I just want to relax, but I also don't want to give them the impression that I'm staring at them the whole time and watching everything they're doing. I'm kind of giving the message subconsciously that I'm cool with whatever you're doing, so you just relax and do your thing. You know, I'm not going to watch you as you work. So I close my eyes, let him do his thing. And I don't usually talk either, because it feels like that distracts him from doing his job. But he was actually kind of a chatty guy, so he asked me a few questions. He actually asked if I was from the UK, because he recognized my Manchester United shirt. And I had to explain again how, well, I'm not from the UK, I'm from Canada, and I don't know anything about football. This was a gift, and when it was given to me as a gift, I didn't even know it was a Manchester United shirt. I had no idea. So I told him that whole story. And I found out that he was actually from India. He was, a citizen of India, but has been living in Malaysia for the last 21 years. So I started off our conversation assuming, that he was Malaysian, just a Malaysian person of Indian heritage, but he was actually from India. And yeah, as I said, he's been here for 21 years, so that was cool. And since I'm on this MRT line, thought I might as well give a little bit of a view of some of the countryside or cityscape that we're passing through. Just went into one of these noise canceling tunnels. Just have the walls up to block the noise of the trains. We're just a couple of stops away from Bandar Utama, where I want to go. And we shall see whether my long search for a replacement pair of sandals finally comes to an end.
Anda akan tiba di Pavilion Pusat Bandar Damansara. Pintu di sebelah kiri akan dibuka. You are now approaching Pavilion Pusat Bandar Damansara. Exit to the left door.
This is not my station. One or two more to go, I think. I was just talking about the haircut that I got, and I was perfectly happy with the cut. Again, like I said at the beginning, I don't really care what they do with my hair, as long as it's not something too crazy, so I was happy with the cut. And yet, I don't think I would go back to that barbershop again. I mean, maybe it's for a silly reason, but it felt like I didn't get good value because it happened so fast. I sat down in the chair and the guy got out the clippers, zing, zing, zing over my head, a couple of clips here, and then I thought he was just getting started with the haircut. And then he suddenly flipped off the apron and said, "Okay, you're all done, here you are." And I looked in the mirror and I thought, well, yeah, actually,
Station berikutnya, Filio Damansara. Next station, Filio Damansara.
Just pausing for the announcement. But yeah, I mean, it looked like the haircut was done. He did a nice job. I was perfectly satisfied with how I looked in the mirror, and he did his job, and now it was time to pay him. The cut cost 21 ringgit. But at the same time, as I said, it felt like he had just started, and I kind of wanted him to at least pretend that it was a bigger job than it was. I wanted him to keep clipping and do this, and I wanted it to be kind of a whole procedure. It just felt like more should have happened during the haircut. Like I wasn't really getting my money's worth out of that experience. I sat down and zip, 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 and then it was all done. So yeah, it's a silly reason, but for that reason, I'd probably go somewhere else where the whole haircut experience might be just a bit more elaborate, just a few more steps and stages. Whether it's even necessary or not, you kind of want it to go on a bit longer so you feel like you're getting your money's worth. I think if the cut was, I don't know, 10 ringgit or something, then that would have been fine. But when he said 21 ringgit, I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of touch with prices. It just seemed a little bit high for that place. Because I said it was quite simplistic, kind of old and worn out. It felt like a very low budget kind of place. And the 21 ringgit price kind of took me by surprise. Maybe I'm just being unrealistic with that and still thinking about prices in other countries. All right, I think this stop and then one more, and I should arrive. Next station is mine, as far as I know, Bandar Utama. And something has been driving me crazy recently, that there was a camping store that I went to all the time, and I used to get to it on this MRT line. And yet I can't remember the name of it or even where it is. And as I mentioned before, I'm terrible at internet, Google searches. And I've done everything I can think of, calling up lists of all the camping stores in Kuala Lumpur and just looking for something that catches that rings a bell. It's like, oh, that's the place, that's the name of it. And all this time I've been in KL, nearly 2 months now, I still haven't been able to come up with the name of this place or even where it used to be. I've been scouring Google Maps, scouring Google, doing searches, and I don't know, I can't find it. I can picture it in my head exactly how I walked there, because I'd have to go to the MRT station and then walk from there. I went there so many times. I remember the walk clearly. I remember the building. It was underground. It's not a big shopping mall, but it was like a little shopping complex or strip mall. And you had to go underground, like down some stairs, because they were sort of in
akan tiba di Bandar Utama.
Basement level.
Pintu di sebelah kiri akan dibuka. You are now approaching Bandar Utama. Exit to the left door.
So I remember everything about this place except its location and the name of it. And it's a possibility that they've just gone out of business or they moved. But yeah, I cannot find them at all. All right, this is where I get off. It will be interesting to see the Christmas decorations at this shopping mall. As I mentioned the other day, in a place like Kuala Lumpur, the way you know it's Christmas or any other holiday like Chinese New Year, anything like that, is you have to go to the shopping malls. And when you go to the big shopping centers, suddenly you see very large decorative displays for whatever the holiday is. That's where all of the activity takes place, is at the shopping malls. So we'll see what they have here for Christmas decorations. I found the right exit. Exit B will take me to One Utama or Utama. It's a little bit of a walk, I think, to get from here to the actual shopping mall. Or maybe this is it already, I don't know. Ah, Korean grocer. So maybe I'm already inside the shopping mall. Looks like it. And with my interest in how things are organized, One Utama is kind of failing the test because I can't find a map. Like there is no, this is the information center, and I can go to the mall. Well, this is the start screen. I can go to the mall directory, and I know where I want to go is on the first floor. And I get this, an alphabetical listing. And I know my store is opposite, whoops, go back, is opposite the Jardin coffee shop. So I found that right there, Jardin Coffee and Tea. So I click on that and I get this, and that looks like a map pin, right? So I should be able to go to a map now. Like you are here, and where this place is, and like I need a map of the mall, but none of these will show me a map. That button is non-responsive, and I'm back to all I get is a alphabetical list for every floor. But no matter where I go in this entire system, there's no listing for a map of any kind. Look at that. All I get a mall directory, and then that leads me to this alphabetical listing, and there's no map of any kind. That's really ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, the modern world continues to befuddle me. I should be able to find something Like there's sports and active wear. So there's a Foot Locker. If I want to go there, I know it's G120. Cool. So show me, where is G120? There's no map of any kind. Very strange. Anyway, maybe it's just me being dumb again, but I can't find a map on this whole system. I don't really know this mall. I don't come here as a rule. And I'm completely lost. This is like the most confusing shopping mall I've seen so far in Kuala Lumpur. It's like a series of connected buildings with all kinds of walkways everywhere. And I seem to have found my way up onto the first floor, but I still have no sense that I'm actually in the mall yet. Okay, I am in One Utama. Up there you can see a sign. I'm on the first floor, and the center court is off in this direction. Okay. So I guess I'm making progress. There are desks here and people behind the desks where I guess I could ask questions, but they're all police. I've passed, I think, 5 police officers on my way into the mall so far, because it just says Police Bantuan or something like that. So they look like information counters, but they're actually police security, and I don't know if it's part of their job to answer questions. And just as a rule, of course, as a guy wandering around with a camera, I don't initiate contact with police. It's never a you know, can't do you any good for the most part. So, okay. Yeah, let's see. Guess I'm gonna wander around for a bit and try and find this place. And look at that, just as I said, I have to find this place. I found Jardin Coffee and Tea right there. And my Teva place, they said, is right across from Jardin Coffee and Tea. There's something. Not surprisingly, I think I completely misunderstood again. Apparently there is no such thing as a Teva store at One Utama. All the listings I saw on Facebook, that was all about them putting on a big clearance sale in the courtyard in front of that coffee shop. So where it says across from Jardin Coffee and Tea, that doesn't mean there's a store there. It just means that I think from December 13th to December 18th, they're going to have a display of Teva sandals in the courtyard in front of the... So it looks like the trip out here was, again, a complete waste of time. I've gone into a few shoe stores. Nobody has sandals. It's just the strangest thing. Yeah, some Christmas decorations here. There's some kind of a train, but they have Christmas trees. Choo-choo train ride. I wonder if this train goes around the shopping mall. So I'm pretty sure that doesn't move anywhere, but maybe they have a small train, and you can get tickets here. But yeah, they have it decorated for Christmas. But in one of the stores, they told me there's another place called Eon, like Eon Shopping Center. It's supposed to be down here. And they said if I can find sandals anywhere, it's going to be at Eon. So that's where I'm heading to now. And I wonder why I keep running out of time. It's because I keep doing this. I don't know why shopping is so difficult for me. I'm just a very inefficient shopper, it appears. I really thought I was going to find a Teva store here, but apparently I misread all the signs. Okay, so where am I now? The search continues. I'm outside the One Utama Mall now because my instructions were to go to something called Eon. I thought it was a shopping mall, but it's not. It's a department store, and I can't find it. Like, I went all over the inside, I couldn't find it. But I found some directions, like walking directions from Google, But those directions said I have to leave one Utama and walk all the way around the outside of it, down these sidewalks, and then turn the corner here. Oh, there it is right there. Eon. So this is Eon right here, this huge thing. And yet I could not find it for the life of me. And I was still looking everywhere I could inside one Utama just for a shopping mall map, you know, a directory for a store location, but I can't find a map anywhere on all those interactive displays. Tells you everything except it won't show you a map, which is kind of weird. Well, this is interesting. This looks like a main entrance into one Utama. I came into the mall from the LRT or MRT, so it was a different direction. And right over here is this very large, indescript thing called Eon. So we'll see if I can find any sandals in here. The hunt continues. I'm in Eon now. It is a large department store. And I found these, so they actually have sandals. You know, not quite what I want, but if this is all I can get, that's good enough. But apparently they don't have sizes, like size 10, whether that's a UK size or US size, I don't know, but size 10 has an X through it, so they didn't have any of those, but they have a black pair as well, and the woman has gone off in search of a size 10 of this type. So we shall see. Can't say I'm thrilled at the customer service, but that's not a surprise. There was a woman at a counter over there. So I went up to her and said, you know, can you help me? I'm looking for this pair of sandals. And then she said to me, well, I don't know, you go look. And I said, well, I did look. And she says, well, you bring here, I check. I says, well, I bring what here? You bring sandal here, I check. I said, okay. So she doesn't even come with me. I go all the way back to the sandal display and I pick out the one I want, and then I bring it to her, and she turns it upside down and looks at the sole, which I didn't know was there. On the sole, like on the bottom, there's a list of all the sizes, what they have and don't have. And she looked at the bottom and said, oh, size 10? No, we don't have. She handed it back to me and then just looked away. It's like, okay, we're done now. And I says, well, there's blue and black ones over there. Like maybe you have the size in the other color. She says, I don't know, go check. So it's like, man, I was that close just to walking out of the store. It's like, I mean, what is it with salespeople? I honestly don't get it. Is it such a difficult job? So anyway, I went back and I got the other color. I'd brought the blue one over originally. Figured have some color in my life. But blue, she said, no size, no size. So I brought over the black, and then she looked at that, and she's gone off. They don't have it here, I guess. She has to go to some sort of back room somewhere. Oh, here she comes. Maybe I have it. So there they are. The old on the outside and the new on the inside. Yeah, they look to be in the ballpark in terms of size. So hopefully I can walk out of here with this pair of sandals. Kind of like them because the soles are very thick and heavy, so that they feel durable. Like they'll actually last a little while, assuming the glue doesn't come apart. Anyway, I'm gonna try these on and maybe I finally have some success. So far, so good. They seem to have a shape that fits my feet, and they're roughly the right size. I suppose at the toes, you know, it could be shorter, but maybe I can adjust my foot position a little bit, and longer is better than too short. So let's walk around for a bit, see how they feel. So far, so good. I can feel little points of discomfort here and there, but that's to be expected because you know, your feet are just accustomed to your old pair, and the new pair is going to have different pressure points before you wear them in. You might develop a blister here or there. As yeah. Just on the overall design, these sandals wouldn't be my first choice if I had another type of sandal I could try, I would probably do that. But as I said, I haven't been able to find anything else. This is the only pair in all of KL that even remotely acceptable. So I think we have a winner. Of course, the way this always goes, right? I'm really kind of set now on the Teva sandals, and I can't find them anywhere. I don't know where they are. They must be in this city somewhere, but I don't know where. And as soon as I buy these, like I will walk out of the mall with these, I'll have purchased them, and right then I'll suddenly see Tevas everywhere. That's how it always goes, right? All right, well, I think we're okay. I decided to buy them, and they have an unusual system here where you get a receipt. So the woman who brought me the sandals, I told her I wanted to buy them, and she gave me a receipt for them, and then I have to go find a cashier somewhere, pay, and then once the receipt is stamped, I bring it back to her, and then she gives me the sandals. So here I am. And apparently I get a 12% discount off the 179 ringgit price. I am now the proud owner of some oddly named Santa Barbara Polo and Racket Club sandals. But of course, it has nothing to do with Santa Barbara or any kind of polo and racket club. The company itself appears to be called Hong Lun. And I don't know, maybe Aeon has this. It's a department store, but it seems like every department is actually a different company. So that corner store was actually Hong Lun, was the name of the store, the name of the company, not really Aeon. And that's why you have to get a receipt from them and then go to a central cashier and then back again with a receipt that's stamped and says that you paid for it. So it's not really all the same store up here. They're all a whole bunch of individual stores. And as I said, now that I bought sandals, the minute I walk outside of this store, I'm gonna find the perfect sandals for me everywhere. They'll just appear out of nowhere. But these ones are not perfect. The main problem with them that I can tell from the design is that there's many problems, but there's never anything that's quite perfect. But the Velcro strap that goes over the instep, the Velcro feels very cheap. It just pulls loose, very, very easily. It doesn't have that really strong, grippy Velcro feeling. So, they're sandals that are designed for strolling around the racquetball club. Maybe if you're hiking with them or something, or climbing up a volcano or something, and you really need the strap to hold tight, maybe they'll tear loose or they'll wear out early. Just feels like the sort of Velcro that, after a couple of months or whatever, it won't stick as well anymore. But what are you gonna do? I got a 12% discount. So came to, I don't know, what did I pay? 159 ringgit, something like that. Call it 150 ringgit. All right, now we have to find my way out of this shopping complex. I should have left myself a trail of breadcrumbs, but I made my way back, and here is the Jardin coffee and tea place, and the Teva outlet was supposed to be right here, like in front of Jardin. But I think what that means is this open space, they're going to set up tables in the future, and they're going to have a big Teva sale here in this courtyard. There is no Teva store anywhere that I was able to find. Though perhaps now that I've already bought sandals, I'll turn one corner and there will be a Teva store right there. I do find that shooting video does help you get oriented sometimes, because you really do pay attention to your surroundings. You're looking at things. For example, I remember walking by Roller Wa you know, because you're sort of thinking about things from a video point. Hello. So there's a roller wah, and I remember walking by a roller wah on my way, just because it was such an unusual thing. I was going to comment on it, some kind of an indoor roller rink, I guess. So now I know I'm on the right track to get back to, oh, look at that. You can actually just make out through that glass. There's people in there on roller skates. Roller skating was a big part of my teenage years, believe it or not, so I would have no trouble zooming around that track. I tracked down a bathroom here before I leave, and of course cleaning is in progress. Every time I go to the bathroom here, there's always people in here cleaning. Cleaning is always in progress, it never seems to end. But there's something here I've never seen before in my life. There are matching toilets, adult and child-sized together. So we got a big one and then a tiny one over there in the corner. Yeah, inside the same toilet stall. It's kind of funny. My biggest impression of this mall, twofold, I guess. One, it's really complicated and confusing. The layout is very complex, connected with a whole bunch of stairways and buildings and walkways, so you have to know where you're going. But my other feeling about it is it feels like there is a tremendous amount of security, because every floor at every stairway has another like security police station, like a checkpoint. As I turn the corner here, you can sort of see one over my shoulder there, I guess on my right. There's a man sitting there, and the desk he's sitting at says Police Bantuan. And I don't know what that means, but yeah, just feels like there are police everywhere. And I'm very sensitive to the presence of security and police, just because I'm using the camera. And quite often shopping malls have a rule saying, no cameras allowed. Whether they enforce it or not, that's up to the different malls. You never quite know. But enough places have a no camera rule that when I walk by security or police, I tend to put my camera away. Why not? Just to be polite. No point flaunting the camera. But here, it was almost impossible to keep the camera out in the open, because there's so many of these police stations, police points. I think if I were in charge of the mall, I would rename them, because I was talking to one of the clerks inside a sports store, telling him I was looking for this Teva outlet and I couldn't find it. And he said, well, just go to the police and ask them, right? But from my point of view, they're police, they're not information desks. So I don't want to go to them. And I would, if they're there for information and they're not really police, I would relabel them and I would call that desk, security and information. Make it friendlier, make it sound like they're there to serve you rather than to police you. At least that's what I would do. I would change the name, change the signs. Okay, I think I go this way. Yeah. This long tunnel looks familiar. Well, that's weird. I was over there on that tunnel, and I followed the sign that said MRT, go down that tunnel. So I walked all the way to the end of that tunnel, and I got over there, but there's no MRT there. And there's a sign that says MRT this way. So I got to go all the way back down this different tunnel. And yet I think at the beginning I could choose between two tunnels, and I chose the one that said MRT, but apparently that was the wrong tunnel. Just brought me to the end, and I have to turn around and go back by a different tunnel. Whew. Got an odor coming from that river, let me tell you. That's a powerful sewage smell coming up from down there. Yikes. So, okay, MRT, here we are. So that was one long, unnecessary detour. But I'm here now, all masked up, because the MRT system is still the last remaining holdout for 100% mask wearing requirement. So that's not my platform. I want to go to the other platform. Huh. Escalators are down. Gonna see if how responsive the elevator is. There's my train. Someone in the front window enjoying the view. No camera though, so not a tourist. I always make my way all the way down to the far end of the train. There's a greater chance that there will be available seating. It appears I have a quick detour planned after my successful sandal shopping expedition. I just got a message from Daryl. Wander Eats Daryl. He's down at Berjaya Times Square. He has dealings at the camera store there at Alltech, the place that I've been going to recently. And yeah, gonna meet for coffee. There's a really nice Starbucks there at Berjaya Times Square. It's one of those, I forget what they call them now. It's one of the premium Starbucks outlets. And it's a really nice place. You often get a piece of chocolate with your latte. Costs more for the environment and the seating and the chocolate, I guess. But it's like a Select, is that what it's called? Starbucks Select? I forget now. But anyway, I'm meeting Daryl there for a cup of coffee now. So, yeah, I realized as I was making my way through the MRT system that my Touch and Go card was getting low on funds. So I was going to top it up. I don't think I've topped it up since I bought it because I don't normally use it except for in the MRT. That's the only time I use it. I always use the eWallet on my phone when I'm paying for things. So I keep adding money to my Touch and Go eWallet, but I haven't added money to my card, I don't think, for a long time. So it's kind of a new experience because there's no machine here to add it directly to your card. So what I have to do is add money to my e-wallet on my phone and then transfer the funds from the e-wallet to the physical card. And I've never done that before, so that was a new experience. And what you have to do is use NFC, and you hold your card, like physically hold your card against the back of your phone for 5 seconds, and then it connects through NFC, near field communication, is that what it's called? And then because it has that connection to your card, you can move funds from the phone to the card. So that's what I did. I remember trying to do it the other way. I thought you could move money from the card to the e-wallet, but it doesn't go in that direction. It only goes from the e-wallet to the card. And hopping into the MRT. I've left the MRT system, as you can tell. Just have to turn the corner and I'll be pretty close to Berjaya Times Square. I was joking the other day. Well, actually, it was a long time ago when I was in Penang, and a friend of mine there, I went to Penang mainly to meet up with this friend of mine, and then when I got to Penang, I was exchanging a bunch of messages with him, trying to arrange, to get together for coffee, which is always my go-to plan, a very casual, relaxed, easygoing, meet for coffee, hang out and chat sort of experience. And no matter how hard I tried to arrange sort of a coffee meet-up, I wonder if I can get across the road here. I see a walk signal starting to flash though. Oh, already turned red, but maybe I can make it halfway across. But yeah, so we're exchanging all these messages about meeting up for coffee, but no matter what I do, we always ended up meeting for lunch or for food of some kind. Even if you do make sort of a coffee appointment, they being Malaysians, will always take that coffee appointment and somehow include a meal with it. Either a meal before or a meal after. You're not getting away without having a meal at some point. Oh, look at this. Whole bunch of people crossing. I can take advantage of the moment. Anyway, I'm doing the same with Daryl. In the video from Penang, I was joking that it's sort of like a poker game where you're seeing someone's bet and then raising them, you know, by a certain amount. So it's sort of like I try to arrange a coffee appointment, and Daryl is like, well, I will see your coffee and I'll raise you a lunch. So apparently we're meeting for lunch. Meeting for food it's completely outside your control. You can try to meet just for coffee, but there's going to be food mixed in there one way or another. Well, there goes the monorail. It was a very busy walk through the MRT station through Bukit Bintang. I guess it's a Friday. Is it a Friday or a Saturday? No, it's a Saturday. Busy weekend and a lot of Christmas shopping going on, so everybody's out shopping. Whew. And here I am deep in the bowels of Berjaya Times Square, and I think I see a familiar gate. Daryl suggested KFC as a place to get a quick bite, and there he is. Well, back in the LRT system, I skipped over my snack at KFC with Daryl, and I did a bit of shopping in Berjaya Times Square. Walked out with another piece of gear that I need for mounting my various cameras on my bicycle. That project never seems to end. And there's still one last remaining piece that I need actually to rig up my system, but I may try and make do without it. I'll just sort of toss something together. We'll see. But anyway, I have a couple of more little errands to run. I'm heading down to KL Central, to the shopping mall and the grocery store there, to pick up a couple of items, more preparations for life in general, and my bike trip to Sumatra. So that all falls underneath behind the scenes. Yeah, so once I get that done, then I'll head back to the Kojoy, and that'll be the end of my day. From here, I get a nice view of my favorite building in Kuala Lumpur. Right there, with a little bit of the sun just glinting off the top of it. I saw a video the other day on YouTube where somebody was giving a progress report of that building, quite a recent one, and they flew a drone all the way from the bottom to the top, circling around and giving a lot of stats and figures about it. Yeah, pretty fascinating stuff. Especially when you get the drone way up there at the top, like flying right around that spire at the top. Pretty amazing structure. So, and that's it, I think, for this video. Nothing exciting is going to happen between here and KL Central. So I'm going to wind down now, go do some shopping. Here comes my train. 4-coach train. Oddly enough, I always saw 2-coach trains here, but I haven't seen a 2-coach train for a very long time. Time to get on board, and as always, see you in the next video.